ask question or else you will never get answer. There were many things Jesus did and his disciple will come and ask him, why couldn't we cast out this demon? Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? What is the meaning of the parable of the sower? They were always asking questions and he could give them answer. They said, teach us how to pray. Many Christians live a life of assumption. They don't ask questions. And when you don't ask questions, you will live a blind life. One Jonah is making a whole ship that can accommodate 300 people and goods. It was sinking because of one Jonah. And the Bible says everybody were consulting their God to know what is the cause of this. And they said to one another, come, let us cast lots that we may know for whose cause this trouble has come upon us. So they cast lots and the lot fell on Jonah. Then they said to him, please tell us for whose cause is this trouble upon us? Is a question. Then they said, what is your occupation? 2. Jesus was traced to his father. He said, is he not the carpenter's son? What is your occupation? Number 3 question, they say, where do you come from? Number 3, ask the question, what was your grandfather doing? What was your grandmother doing? What? Then where do you come from? What normally happens to people that comes from this place? They say, what is your country? Then they say, what people are you? What is the custom of your people? What is the traditional? What is their belief? So he said to them, I am an Hebrew and I fear the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. The solution is coming to the storm. Then the men were exceedingly afraid and they said to him, why have you done this? Now you ask question also, why have you done this? Why were they killing people? Why were they doing sacrifice? Why did they take me here when I was a child? Why have you done this? That's another question. For the men knew that he fled from the presence of the Lord because he had told them. Then finally they asked more question. Then they said to him, what shall we do to you that the sea may be calm for us? What deliverance process am I going to go through to break free from this oppression? The Bible says, for the sea was growing more tempestuous. If you don't trace properly where you are from, what normally happened to those that came from where you are from? Why are you born into that family? Why are they doing this sacrifice? Why do they go to the graveyard? Where is your father? Where is your mother? Why did they break up? What was your father doing? What was your mother doing? If you don't find this out, you will live in blindness. Like the Kennedys, they were always dying. If you are from that family, the truth is everybody's family have their own. That's the one we know. In case you think it's from Africa, the Kennedys, they're in America. One was a president, I think so. That one was assassinated. His brother was doing rally. The 2 politicians among their family was assassinated. Every trace of oppression in our life, it can be traceable to what happened to you when you were a child or what happened to you before you were born. And in case you are here, you see a tribal mark on your body, you must ask why that mark was placed on you. Don't assume I became a Christian, it doesn't bother me. Ask question, why was this mark given to me? What happened to me? Because every mark you see on your body is for identification. A spirit is using to identify you. Mark is very important because in the book of Revelation, and no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number in his name. So a time is coming where everybody in this world will be marked. If they don't mark you, you can't find a job. That mark 666. If they don't mark you, you won't find a job. If they don't mark you, you can't buy food. There's nothing you can do if that mark is not on you. So it's very important. So you can't just grow up and see a mark on your body, a tribal mark, and not ask, why is this mark on my body? Why did they give me this mark? You were sick, so we have to take you there. No, where did you take me to? And what did the herbalists say when they were marking me? If they could trace Jesus to his father, say, is this not the carpenter's son? Is his sister not Mary? It's not this one that was born among us here. It's very important you know where you are from and where you are going, because if you don't know where you are from, you can't know where you are going. John 13:3, the Bible says, Jesus, knowing that the Father have given him all things, and he knows where he was from. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given him all things into his hand, and that he had come from God and was going to God. That is what is called roots. I am from God, I'm returning back to God. One of the painful things is that in Africa, our lineage, our identity is not really written on books. Hardly you find a family now where you can trace back to their 4th generation. Our own, the spirits that are holding it. If you go to the Western world, they will tell you people's 10th generation, what happened to their 10th, what they were doing. Africa does not have history. Our history is spiritual. So you need to consult a spirit to tell you what your fathers did. You need to consult a spirit to tell you where you are from. Don't hide anything from your children. In as much, even if you are a thief, for your own good, don't keep your children in limbo. Even if your parents did that mistake and maybe they passed on, you don't make that mistake. Don't make your children to guess their way through life. This life is spiritual. That's why I said Africa transfer history verbally. So my uncle was this, my auntie was this. They transfer history verbally. So you must talk to your children. Don't hide. You are a new creature. Say, this me I stole before I was carrying gun. There was a time I used to steal my boss money at work. Tell your children what you did. They will know where to fight their battle from. Some time ago, a man got married to a lady and they were barren for many years. And they went to every pastor, no way. Went to every spiritualist, no way. And one day, the man prayed one prayer, and while he was sleeping, he saw his wife. The wife's mother was holding a baby, and the wife was trying to drag the baby with the mother, even him himself, but the mother was holding that baby. And when he woke up, he just tapped the wife, "Wake up, what went on between you and your mom?" She said nothing, and he got very angry. He said, "You better talk." And she started confessing that I maltreated her, I beat her up, and many times she cursed me. Then they had to buy gifts. Go and look for that woman, gave her everything and apologized to her, and she lifted the curse. That same year they got their baby. So many things that are holding people are from the roots. What you did yesterday, you can call it karma, because every effect have a cause and every cause have effects. Talk to your children. Ask your parents question. You talk to your children, because if you tell your children where you went wrong, battle that's supposed to take them 50 years, we can just take them 1 year, they are done with it. Many battles you are facing today is because your parents didn't tell you what went wrong in the family. So it's as if it's an extended battle. It's as if you are fighting a battle that never ends. And let me shock you. Spirits take advantage of people's history. That is why a demon can tell Jesus to say, "Have you come to trouble us before our time?" Meaning we still have time on earth here. Jesus was casting out the spirit from the man of Legion. The demon said, "Please, don't cast us out of this territory," because they have the history, the archive of that territory. There was a reason why God asked the children of Israel in Judges 10 from verse 6. See, then the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and served Baal, Ashtoreth, the god of Syria, the gods of Sidon, the gods of Moab, the gods of the people of Ammon, the gods of the Philistines, and they forsook the Lord and did not serve him. So the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines. The same people that they are serving their God started ruling them. He handed them into the hands of the Philistines, into the hand of Ammon. From that year, they harassed and oppressed the children of Israel for 18 years. All the children of Israel were on the other side of the Jordan, in the land of the Amorites, in Gilead. Moreover, the people of Ammon crossed over the Jordan to fight against Judah, also against Benjamin, against the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was severely distressed. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against you, because we have both forsaken our God and served Baal." So the Lord said to the children of Israel, "Did I not deliver you from the Egyptians, and from the Amorites, and from the people of Ammon, and from the Philistines? Also the Sidonites, the Amalekites, and the Moabites oppressed you, and you cried out to me, and I delivered you from their hand. Yet you have forsaken me and served other gods. Therefore I will deliver you no more." Now, where was their oppression coming from? Their oppression came from they serving. The people that is oppressing them, they are serving their gods. So the only reason they could oppress them is because you are serving my God. You are under my oppression because you are bowing to my own God. If you would have bowed down to your God and know your God, he would have saved you from my hand. But in as much as you don't know your God, you are serving my own God, you will be under oppression. In Jeremiah 7 from verse 18, this is one of the gods the children of Israel were worshipping. They could not leave these gods. Every time they left, they went back again. He said the children gathered wood, the father kindled the fire, and the women knead dough to make cakes for the queen of heaven, and they pour out drink offering to other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Chapter 44 from verse 17. This queen of heaven is called Ashtoreth. That's her name. When you see it in Judges, it's called Ashtoreth. She's a principality, and she was in control of fertility. Anytime you want to plant or harvest, you must sacrifice to her. In case your family here, or you came from a land where they celebrate a new fruit, in the place I came from, they call it New Yam Festival. They are serving this goddess. She's called the goddess of fertility. When people are barren and they say go and throw something in the water, she is the one that they are offering to. She's the goddess of fertility. And in India they call her Is. In Ephesians they call her Dinah. They also call her Queen of Heaven. So even till today, she's still in our midst. Those people you see that anytime there's a full moon, they are worshiping the moon. They are worshiping her. That's how you know her. Yeah, she comes as the moonlight. Every time there's a full moon, you see people dancing and worshiping. Is that they are worshiping? Sometimes they call her Madonna. They call her Mother of God. They are still there. They just change name. She changes her name. The other one again is bar. Where you see disco music, those disco lights you are seeing, those serving moon are serving the fallen angel called bar. When you go to club, you see all those lights, you see winging. The inspiration came from that gods, and they call it art disco music. Every time you go to club, if that light shine on you, your urge for sex will just increase. That is how they worship Ba in those days. He's the god of sun, so he control lights. He work with light. That disco light you see, and he always make people drink and high. Those days when they were worshiping Ba, people take drugs to high. Once they take it, they go into another realm. But in our generation now, you won't hear Ba again. And Ba is represented by bull. No bull. The country was worshiping a bull. That's Brazil. That's what Ba represents. Meanwhile, you think Ba is in the Bible. He's still in our generation. In India, they don't eat cow. That is Ba they are worshiping. The god of the bull, Ba. So when you see people in drugs, you see disco music, disco lights, rock, hard rock music is Ba. When people are high, they begin to misbehave. Meanwhile, in our mind, mostly many Christians, they don't even know. Some Christians play those kind of music. They play hard jazz. Is it jazz music or rock? They call it. You are possessed. You are a Christian, you go to the club, those lights are shining on you. You can't control your sexual urge. You will be like an animal. They bring sexual degradation. That was how Ba was worshipped in those days. The people get high. Don't go and read about when Elijah was calling down fire against the prophet of Ba. They were doing a lot of things. Some of them were cutting their body. That's why you see most of children, if they are depressed, they begin to cut their body. They cut themselves with knives. Some people, if they are sad, they either bite themselves or cut themselves with knife. Read when Elijah was trying to call fire from, that was what the prophets of Ba were doing. They were cutting themselves with knife. So when you trace the root, you know where the oppression is coming from. They said Jesus was casting out demon through Beelzebub. Beelzebub means Lord of the Flies, meaning Beelzebub is in control of any demon that is flying. That's the meaning. All the witches and wizards in your village are headed by Beelzebub. His image is half human being, half us. And you see the wings is like a bat wing, like a spider web. That's how it represents. These are princes. And anytime you start seeing during Christmas, people are dying on the road, blood, Beelzebub is the cause. He's the refueler of the blood bank in the kingdom of darkness. He's very close to the devil. He's the devil direct protocol, number one protocol, Beelzebub. So he transports blood to the second heaven, to the blood bank where the devil stays. But you think they are not here. Why is it that every Christmas people die? From October to September to February, not December, February. People think it ends in December. No, check very well. You discover that people die more January and February. Beelzebub, it causes destruction. He works with destruction. Blood is in need of blood. All those witches in your village submit to Beelzebub. Once you are initiated to that kingdom, to the kingdom of darkness, you will want to drink human blood. You see the way somebody say is addicted to drugs. That's how these demons, even witches, are addicted to human blood. They can't live without human blood. Then another one again is mammon. Jesus said you can't worship God and mammon. Mammon is one of these princes. And you know what they put in your heart? Greed and covetousness. You can never be satisfied with anything when mammon possesses you. Mammon is going to walk hand in hand with the beasts, because they will, once the end time is coming, finance will collapse. So they need to control the world with finance, money. So the beast that is coming will control with mammon. Now let me advise you as a Christian. It's very important. Listen to what God says I should tell you. Your finance is not as the same as the finance of the world. It's not about having job, having company. Many of us in church, we have jobs, we have companies. But for us to see money is a problem. Mammon fights the church intentionally. If you follow people in the world and they are telling you are not serious, you are just praying, you are just fasting, you go and walk. Mammon can allow them to make money because they know what they are using their money, not you. And mammon is not only fighting you because you say you don't pay tithe. No, even if you are paying tithe and giving, he will still attack you. You've never addressed those spirits before. The finance of the world is controlled by mammon. Your finance is controlled by. So you can see that we are controlled by two different. That's why the Bible says you are in the world, but not of the world. Meaning your supply also is not from here. So mammon is fighting everything against you. If you like open job, is fighting. Have business, is fighting. Have the heart to give, is fighting. Is the cause of destitute and poverty among Christians. It's not that many Christians are not working or they are not giving or they are not tithing. It fights them. So you must learn to rebuke it. Everything that is happening around us, there's a source. There's a spirit responsible for it. Now, you go and meet your father or your mother or the old person in your family. Ask question. Once you begin to ask question, you will get the season where oppression normally comes in your family. I asked question to the extent that I discovered that December was my month where demons always wait for me. I know. You don't know your moon, but the truth is that there's a moon. It's just that you've not prayed. They've not showed you. And if you don't address it in that same season, you are wasting your time. I checked my own archive. As a spiritual archaeologist, I checked back and I discovered that every December, one trouble, one December, one trouble, one December, one. First time I ever got accident, hitting by a bike is December. The first time I ever got lost in the market as a child, December. The first time I tried to drown somebody in the water, December. The first time I tried to burn somebody's house in the village, December. The first time I ever tried to drown myself in the water that was deeper than me, December. Then I knew that the only way to counter it is to fast and pray, December. That's how I stopped it. It was obvious that there was a spirit and there was an altar troubling me every December. You don't want to check. Israel committed a sin of covetousness and they were losing battle, and they lost battle to Ai, a whole country, a whole nation. And God said they should cast lots. And they cast lots from tribe to family, and they found that the family came back. I think it's Judah, and they cast to family until they found Achan that went to steal their costing, buried it in the foundation of his house. That's what we call foundational deliverance. He buried it under his house and covered it. And Joshua cried, "Oh, my son Achan, what have you done?" He said, "I will talk. When we're fighting, I saw some gold and some Babylonian garments. I loved it, covetousness, and I stole it. I buried it under the tent in my house." That's called foundational power, the roots. Israel was failing. Achan family was failing. All the tribe of Israel was failing just because of one man's foundation, his roots. And men went into his house, his tent, dug it out and brought it out. And Achan baby that was even few months old, all the animal in Achan's family, they gathered all of them and stoned them to death. Even a baby that didn't know anything suffered that pain. So don't say, "I am innocent, I don't know what happened in the family." Even a baby was killed. Every seed that came out, anything that represented Achan's family, was stoned to death in the Bible. So don't say, "I'm from the family, I'm innocent," or "It's not me that killed somebody, it's not me that did this one." It's not me. As far as you are from Achan. Same thing with Dathan and Abiram. They were the fathers. They insulted Moses. But when judgment came, the ground opened and swallowed all their family, even their animals. So if you were a rat in Abiram family, you were just eating there peacefully, you would pay. If you were a chicken, everything that concerned Dathan and Abiram was swallowed on the ground. Ask question, "Daddy, mommy, who were you? What were you doing? Where are we from?" If God told Abraham in Genesis 20, say, "Get out of your father's house, get out of your country, get out from your people." And in Genesis 24 from verse 1, now Abraham was old, well advanced in age, and the Lord blessed Abraham in all things. So Abraham said to his oldest servant of his house, who ruled over all that he had, "Please put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you may not take a wife for my son from the daughter of the Canaanite, among whom I dwell. But you shall go to my country and to my family and take a wife for my son Isaac." Then the servant said to him, "Perhaps the woman will not be willing to follow me to this land. Must I take your son back to the land from which you came?" But Abraham said to him, "Beware! Do not take my son back there." His own village. What connects families to oppression is iniquity. Same iniquity. Like what we connect the church to the Antichrist is immorality. What connects your family, what even separates you from the foundation of God, is iniquity. 2 Timothy 2:19. Nevertheless, the solid foundation of God stands. Having this seal, the Lord knows those who are his. Let everyone who names the name of Christ depart from iniquity. The foundation of God does not condone iniquity. The only way to be connected to God's foundation, he said, you must depart from iniquity. Even the church must depart from iniquity. Don't say, I'm a soldier of the Lord, I'm a soldier, I'm connected to God, I'm connected to God. No, see, the foundation of God, the seal, there's a seal there. That seal is called mark. Everyone that call on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ must depart from iniquity. Trace the iniquity of your family. They are very covetous, stingy. Force yourself to be a giver. Your father, your mother did not marry to give birth to you. Force yourself to marry. Don't hide secret from your children. I took my time to ask my parents questions, and they told me, you must ask questions. My father was not ashamed to tell me I was carrying the biggest masquerade in my village before. It's called elephant. He said, anytime I wore that masquerade, he said, I do the impossible. I can jump where I could not jump before when I'm not wearing it. He said, I didn't go to do charm, but once I wear it, something come on me. And you think it will not affect the children? If you come out from a family where there was dancing masquerade, you were dancing or somebody was carrying masquerade, you discover that anything you are doing, they are scattering it. Because that's what the spirit of masquerade does. It scatters, pursues, and destroys. I got that from my mother's side. I traced that they were dying untimely. From my village, I traced that many pastors come to my village with fire. But before they stay 6 months, a queen that is in the water there called Imo, the woman, the marine, will enter them. They will start impregnating people's wife. All the pastors that comes there. South Africa have a spiritual source. There is a spirit here. Don't just live here as a Christian and be gallivanting. Trace it. What happens to the believers that comes here? What happens to Christians in it? What happens to pastors? A guy was telling me, I came to this country with fire. I was fasting before I came. He said, when the country took me, I didn't know. Before I stepped in, he was fasting, praying. Don't get used to the nation. When you are spiritual, you always look at the nation from outside and see. But when you are lost, you will not join them and you won't know what is going on again. Everyone that is looking at the water from outside can see clearer than the one that is inside. So one thing you do as a believer, you step back towards your family. That's why God told Abraham, get out, get out, get out, get out. Then so that you can look from far and see the errors.